I know you and I both work with some mutual clients that are not just in the the executive world, but also the small business world. You mentioned a little bit about something about what small business owners sometimes pursue. What do you see as some of the most common ways small business owners utilize these different types of insurance strategies? I think that's where something that we see is often not utilized to its maximum benefit.
Yeah, it's with business owners, it's difficult for them at times because they wear so many hats and they're in charge of so many different things. So the key relationship people, they're also driving. Sometimes they're doing the books. Depending on their roles and what their business is, they wear so many hats. So it's hard for them sometimes to pull themselves out, see themselves as an employee, see themselves as a key employee, and then see themselves as an owner. So they have those three delineations of, if this event happens, how does this affect me as an employee? So if you were to get a job at a large company, say Dell, you get a package. You get life insurance, you get disability, you get those things when you walk in the door. It's part of your compensation package. You get health insurance, all that stuff. And a lot of times business owners fail to see themselves in that manner of, I'm an employee too. And so normal situations get this. So it doesn't mean that they buy it. Again, it just means that you address it from a planning perspective, saying, hey, because of this scenario, you may not have this coverage just given to you like you would at a big company. So how do you want to plan for this? And then a key employee, meaning if they're a small business and there's maybe 10 employees or something like that, and they're the main relationship driver, or they've got some special skill set to get something done. What if something happens to them? How does it impact the other 9 employees? That's something a lot of business owners, they do care about. They do, because it's their baby, and those people are usually family, but they don't put themselves in that position of thinking like, I got to address this. I got to take care of this, because if something does happen to me, my company's hurting too. And not only that, I'm hurting my family, these employees, and sometimes it is their family. And then finally, from an asset, right? This business usually has a value to it. It's kind of like when I went back to the real estate example of taxes. If anything were to happen to them, how does that family group get full value for that? Because their primary breadwinner, that business owner, is no longer in the picture or can't work in the picture. How do you address that? So biggest things, of course, are, again, it's life insurance, usually term insurance, because you're doing it for a buy-sell purpose, or just cover that need of their missed income. Disability planning is a big one for business owners. The good news is, if they do have employees, a group disability policy is relatively inexpensive, and they can usually get a good baseline of coverage for not only themselves, but in their employees. And then if they need to fill in the rest, they can buy an individual policy to fill in that gap.
That's good. I mean, definitely, it sounds like there's a lot of different ways they can take advantage of what's available to them, but utilizing that small business structure, and even, like you said, the small group for pricing purposes is probably significant. Because I know we hear sometimes from small business owners that sometimes the cost they feel might be prohibitive, but if they do it the right way, it isn't always the case, which is good to hear.